Students, I welcome you to the Gyan Jyoti online classes. Myself, Swain, and today on this video classes, we'll study the chapter number 7 of the history section. In the last class, students, we have completed the section civics. We have completed all the chapters of section civics. Now, only history and geography are left. So, this is the first day of the week, students, and the chapter number 7 it is social change in tribal and nomadic communities. What is the social change? And students, what do you mean by tribal? Who are tribal people? They are Adivasi. In Hindi we call them Adivasi. In Odia we also call them Adivasi. So they are tribal people. And who are the nomadic people? Students, in the earlier ancient periods, we knew that who were nomads. Students, nomads mean wanderers, persons who didn't remain at one place. They moved from one place to another in search of food, in search of shelter, in search of water, everything they need for their survival. So students, this topic will read about the different nomadic communities. Okay students, now let's start the chapter. Students, as the empires and kingdoms in India rose and fell, new religious and social groups evolved with them. The ancient society was based on the principle of Varna or caste system. Students, we know that the ancient people and their society was divided into the caste system. So what were the caste system, students? The upper caste people, they were the Kshatriyas. Second one was the Brahmins. The third one were the Vaishyas. The fourth one was the Sudras. There are four main varnas, as I have told you. And they were even divided into several jatis or subcastes. Students, they were not just Kshatriyas. The Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, the Sudras, Brahmins, all were divided into the subcaste. With a large number of jatis added to the society, the social structure became extremely complex. They became extremely complex. However, there were some other societies which remained largely unaffected by these changes. These were the tribal societies. Students, first of all, we'll try to learn that. Students, we know that the tribal people are called the scheduled tribes. They often live in the forests rather than in cities and villages. Okay students, then they lived in remote areas such as the dense forest, hills, mountains, and they lead a nomadic life. They didn't remain in one place. Till now, they move in search of food by moving from one place to another. They lived in isolation and preserved their local culture. They didn't want to mix with the local people. They didn't want to evolve with the local folks. Then we'll read about the travels of the medieval India. The first subtopic is the tribals of medieval India. Students, now here the topic is about the medieval India. Most of the tribals had their own rituals and customs. As I have told you, every caste, every culture in our country have their different art and culture, rituals, customs, traditions, etc. etc. The social differences among the tribals were hardly existent. They earned their livelihood by way of jhum cultivation, herding, hunting and gathering, minor trading, settled cultivation. So this was the occupation of the tribal people. By jhum cultivation, herding means by cattle rearing, you can say. Hunting and gathering, minor trading, settled cultivation and etc. etc. Some tribes were nomadic and were totally dependent on cattle rearing for their livelihood. One Gujars of the Punja Hills, students, some examples I am writing here. One Gujars of the Punja Hills. Then students, the next example is the Lavadis. Lavadis of the Andhra Pradesh. Then students, the Gaddis of Kullu. These are the tribal groups. Kullu means Himachal Pradesh. Situated in Himachal Pradesh because it is a hilly area. Next student, the Bakarwals of the Pir Panjal range of the Jammu and Kashmir. These tribes were called pastoral tribes. Students, pastoralist means they usually depend on pastures. They have their cows, goats, sheep. They were depending more on herding and cattle rearing. So these were the types of tribes. Then students, the next is the Banjaras. Students, who are Banjaras? You may have seen Banjara people means they live in nowadays also you can see towns. They live in tents. They move from one place to another in search of work or money. The Banjaras were the trader nomads. Their caravan was called a tanda. So students will learn about the Banjaras. The Banjaras, their group was called as the Tanda Caravan. Banjaras are said to originate from the Marwar region of Rajasthan. Banjaras mainly engaged in the trade of salt, grain and and other commodities in remote villages. Because of the fact that they were nomadic tribes, they used to cover great distances to places, mostly in search of their merchandise. Means students, they were businessmen. They moved from one place to another for getting their business expand. The tribal communities like the Khonds of Odisha and other areas. Khonds. Khonds are a special type of tribe seen in Odisha. Are traditionally hunter-gatherers. Students, I have told you what the primitive people were doing, hunting and gathering. Then the Maharashtra highlands and Karnataka were home to Kolis and Berats and numerous others. Kolis also lived in many areas of Gujarat. Kolis, Berats, Maharashtra, Karnataka. So they belong to these two states normally. Then students, the tribes such as the Khokhar. So these were the most famous tribes, friends. There are numerous types of tribes surviving in our country now also. The Khokhar. The Khokhars, Gujars, Baluchis, students, these were very powerful in the northwest. They often challenged the authority of the emperors in Delhi. So they were so powerful that they were offering challenges to the Delhi Sultanate and different types of empires ruling in New Delhi. So students, in Delhi. Then the Bhils are the largest community. Students, just look. The Bhils is a special type of tribe, are the largest community of tribe. Who are the students? These are the Bhils. The Bhils are the largest tribal community in India. The Bhils of western and central India had become settled agriculturists by the late 16th century, but many still remained hunter-gatherers. They are said to have helped Maharana Pratap against the Mughals. Students, the Bhils have helped the the Emperor Maharana Pratap against the Mughals. They were very powerful, students, and they are considered still now the largest community of tribes in India. Then students, next is some tribal groups like the Gonds and Mundas, however, had taken up settled agriculture. Students, agriculture is not just a profession of nowadays. So this was practiced earlier, millions and millions of years ago. So now also the tribal groups of Gonds and Mundas, they have taken up settled agriculture. Then the Gonds can be found in great numbers across the present day states of Chhattisgarh. Students, the Gonds. Nowadays also you can see them. Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh. Students, AP here stands for Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra. Okay, students. Then the Cheros and Santhals. Santhals is a famous tribe of Jharkhand and Odisha. Students, the Cheros and Santhals occupied areas of present day Bihar, Jharkhand, Assam, and then West Bengal and Odisha. Although defeated by Akbar's army in the 16th century, they continued to trouble the Mughals. They were finally subdued by Aurangzeb. Students, then the next group of tribes are the Nagas, live in the hills located in the northeast western, and Ahoms are from the neighboring Assam. Khasis and Garos are from Meghalaya. Students, in the civics chapter we have studied the Khasi, Garo, Jaintia. These are the three prominent tribes of the state of Meghalaya. Then students, apart from that, we will study about the social changes. The main topic of the chapter is what is the social change in tribal and nomadic communities which took place. Students, the tribal people, sorry students, let me write the subtopic here. Social change. Social change, new caste and hierarchies. Students, here hierarchies. What do you mean by hierarchy? Means if we will take an example from top to bottom, the position, the rank from top to bottom or bottom to top, that is called hierarchy. The tribal people did not believe in the hierarchy based on the caste of the Hindu society. They rather believed in a society in which all were treated equal. Students, in hierarchy, let us take the example of a Hindu society. The kings were the emperor of a place and they were at the topmost level. Then the minister, then the zamindars, then the normal people. So we can call it a hierarchy. But the tribal people don't believe in hierarchy. They themselves had a own society. The tribal people lived their secluded life, and the only interaction between them Hindus happened, that was the trade. So they only adopted the trade system with the Hindus, and they didn't accepted all other things what happened to the society. All as the economy and the needs of society grew, gradually the needs of the society grew. They may belong to tribal society, they may belong to the other society, but they need money, they need their economy very strong, therefore to survive in the earth. So people with new skills were needed, especially crafts-like people, craftsmen, the organized people who maybe like the masons, blacksmiths, carpenters, and goldsmiths, so pottery makers. So these were the different types of skilled people they needed for their well-being of the society, well-functioning, smooth functioning of the society. Some tribals started to become part of mainstream society by mastering these crafts. The Indian society modeled on the Varna system, in which every person was allotted a specific position. Every Varna provided these groups to a place within its fold or jati or caste. Everybody, every tribal group wanted to be a specialized people. With the coming of the various Central Asian tribes into India as conquerors like the Hunas, these are the Central Asian tribes. Students, then Chandilas, Chalukyas, and others. Gradually, the graded Indian social norms made adjustments and accepted them into the folds of Varna as Kshatriyas. So, students, look at the words. With the coming of various Central Asian tribes into India as conquerors, they were Central Asian tribes. They came to India as conquerors, invaders, the Hunas, the Chandilas, the Chalukyas, but they were later accepted as the folds of Kshatriyas. The famous brave Rajput clans of the 12th century were the descendant of these tribes, who got the Kshatriya status because of the changed circumstances. Inspired by the example of Rajputs, a number of local tribes also claimed and got a place in the Hindu caste system. A large majority from the tribes joined the lower jatis of the Varna society. The dominant tribes of the Punjab, Sindh, and the northwest frontier, however, rejected the Hindu caste system because they have adopted Islam quite early as a result of impact of Islam in the region. Students, now in your chapter there is a case study about a special tribe called the Gonds. We will study it in detail. Students, in the textbook, a case study is special regarding the Gonds. Gonds is a type of tribe, students, I have told you, is given. It's a detailed study about the Gonds is prescribed. Students, as we know that we have studied different types of tribes in the chapter, but the Gonds are the tribal community mostly found in the Gondwana. They are from that name the Gond has been come from. Gondwana. Okay, students. This is the region of the central India, and Gondwana is a famous place from where the Gonds came from. But they settled between the 9th and 13th century. Students, they settled from 9th to 13th century. Students, they were widely spread in Chhindwara district of Madhya Pradesh. They are widely, we can say, Chhindwara in Madhya Pradesh and also in parts of Maharashtra. Particularly in these two places, we can find the two tribes. Then students, they are widely spread, as I have told you, in Madhya Pradesh, Bastar district of Chhattisgarh also. Bastar also. Bastar is a district, students, of South Chhattisgarh. Andhra Pradesh and Odisha. In Andhra Pradesh also, we can see this type of this group of tribes. That is the Gonds. Students, the name by which Gonds call themselves is Koi or Koitur. Students, look at the difference. They call themselves as Koi or Koitur. They have a different nomenclature. Okay. And the language they speak is called the Gondi. Obviously, students, the language is here Gondi. Then, the Gondi language is closely related to Tamil, Kannada and other Dravidian languages, especially the South Indian languages. Tamil, Kannada and the other Dravidian languages. They worship Baradev, their supreme deity, and Farsapain as their clan deity. Students, clan means the group, the tribal group. Deity means Devi Devta, I have told you before in Hindi. Baradev and Farsapain. Goats have been traditionally nomads but later took to farming. They mainly practiced shift cultivation. Over a span of time, they also get into metal work and carpentry, resulting in the growth of wealth and power. Students, nowadays the primitive men, they just don't are restricted to cultivation, agriculture. They are doing different types of activities also. By the 14th century, Gonds were ruling over several parts of central India. They built a number of palaces, forts, temples, Raj Mahal, as you say, palaces, and tanks during the rule of the Gond dynasty. Students, they also ruled, and the dynasty name was Gond. The Gondwana kingdom survived till date, till late 16th century. Gonds have been warriors since the British period and challenged the Britishers in several battles. So they were, students, warrior princes, and they also gained control over the Malwa after the decline of the Mughals. Students, in the Akbarnama it is also mentioned. Akbarnama is a book written by Abul Fazl during the reign of Akbar. That in the Akbarnama it is written that, students, it is the Gond kingdom of Garha Katanga. The names here are, students, sometimes strange, but we have to learn them. The Garha Katanga had 70,000 villages, means this was the kingdom of the Gonds. Gond dynasties ruled in 4 kingdoms. So, what were they? The first one is the Garha Mandala, and the third one is, students, the Chanda and Kevara. All these places are in the central India. The administrative system of the Gond was centralized. So we will study about them, how the administrative system works. So each kingdom was divided into guards. So each kingdom was divided into guards, which was controlled by a particular Gond tribe, or Gond clan. Clan means the group. Each guard was divided into a unit of 84 villages, and it was called Chaurasi. Chaurasi. That is 24 village. Okay. Okay, students. Then it was subdivided into barhols or a group of 12 villages. Then the emergence of large states changed the nature of Gond society. What was traditionally an equal society with passage of the gradually got divided into unequal social classes. Brahmanas received land grants from the Gonds and became very influential. Students, the entry of the emergence of Brahmins took place during the Gond reign. And students, the Gond chiefs were now recognized as they wanted themselves to be recognized as the Rajputs. In the 16th century, the Gond Raja of Gadha Mandia, or the Gadha Katanga, what I have written here, Amandas assumed the title of Sangramsa. Students, just look. Amandas Sangramsa. Okay. He extended his power over 52 districts. How much? 52 districts. His son, Dalpat, married Rani Durgavati, a Chandela princess. Students, look, they wanted to recognize themselves as Rajputs and they therefore tried to live a life of the princely states. And Durgavati, before that, Dalpati died early, leaving a minor son. Durgavati, who was very capable, took over the reins of the kingdom on behalf of her young son, Bir Narayan. Like her husband's predecessors, she extended her territory and accomplished the political unification of Gondwana, also known as the Gadha Katanga. With courage and generosity, trade flourished during this period. Gonds generated huge wealth by exporting wild elephants to other kingdoms. They were exporting the wild elephants. As they were tribals, they knew the forest very well than others. People were prosperous and happy. In 1565 AD, the Mughals under Asaf Khan attacked Gadha Katanga, or the Gonds kingdom. Rani Durgavati fought bravely and died fighting for the cause of her kingdom. Her son Chu died fighting soon after. They annexed part of the kingdom and granted the rest to Chandrasa. So who was Chandrasa, students? Uncle of Bir Narayan. He was the Gond king. Despite the fall of the Gadha Katanga, the Gond kingdom survived for some time. However, they became weak and later struggled unsuccessfully against the Bundelas and the Marathas. Students, Marathas were one of the most powerful and very brave people. Now, students, we will study about the Ahoms. Students, Ahoms. The Ahoms migrated to India in the first half of the 13th century. I mistakenly told 19th, it is just 13th century. From Burma, present Myanmar. Students, Myanmar is a neighboring country of ours, so they migrated from there. They ruled over parts of present day Assam for nearly 600 years, from 1228 to 1826. AD. Means, students, near about 600 years, less than 2. So there are near 600 years. He first established his kingdom in the 1228 AD. Sukhapa was the first king of the Ahom dynasty. So this is a dynasty. He first established his capital at Charaidev, but later shifted to Ghargaon. His kingdom at its peak extended from Brahmaputra in the west to Naga Hills in the east. Then, students, and from Burilding river in the north to Dixo river in the south. So, what were the, students, his extension? What about his kingdom? From Brahmaputra in the west to Naga Hills in the east. and from Bureding river in the north to Diho river in the south. They usually, first of all, they occupied Assam and ruled for 600 years. During the 16th century, they went on to annex the neighboring kingdoms of the Chutias. Students, the neighboring kingdoms of the Chutias, that is Chuti, they annexed this Chutias kingdom in 1523. And Koch Hajo, then it in 1521, sorry 1581, under the leadership of Sumo, 1497 to 1539. So the king was also the instrumental in repealing the first invasion of Assam by Pathan rulers of Bengal, that is Sumo. Friends, the names are very odd here, but we have to remember. So his reign started from 1497 to 1539. So this was the Sumo. Under the leadership of Sumo, they annexed different places like Chutias in the Koch Hajo. Then students, in 1662 AD, the Mughal under Mir Jumia attacked the Ahom kingdom. Despite their brave defense, the Ahoms were defeated. But direct Mughal control over the region did not last long. The Mughal expansion was halted after the important battle of Saria Ghat in 1671 AD. In this battle, the Ahom general Lachit Borphukar students, the Ahom general ruler Lachit Borphukar defeated the Mughal forces on the outskirts of present-day Guwahati. I have told you that they ruled most of the parts of Assam. Although weaker, the Ahom army defeated the Mughal army by brilliant uses of the terrain, guerrilla tactics, guerrilla forces, you can say, psychological warfare, physical and military intelligence, and by exploiting the soul of weakness of the Mughal forces, its navy. So by applying this type of techniques, they defeated the Mughal army. During the reign of S.St. From 1714 to 1744 AD, Hinduism became predominant religion among the Ahoms. The Ahoms took the title Singh and Sanskritized their names. They built temples of Hindu gods of Shiva, Vishnu and goddesses Jaya, and appointed Brahmin priests for the performances of the rituals. Over a period of time, they adopted the Assamese language. So as they were staying in Assam, they adopted the Assamese language. Ahom state depended upon forced labor, and those who were forced to work for state were known as Paikas. Students, Paiko means is a warrior group of clan. People from densely populated area were shifted to less populated areas. By the 17th century, their administration became centralized. All adult men served in the army during wartime. Ahom society was divided into clans or khel. Students, it was divided into clans or khel. Okay. The peasant was given land by the village community. Even the king did not have powers to take it away without the community's consent. Now students, as I have told you that the Ahom were divided into groups like clans or khel. Ahom society was mainly village based on agriculture and was the mainstay. The farmers mainly cultivated food crops. That rice was the main food crop, whose cultivation was very popular. The Ahoms kept regular records of the political and other important events. Students, as I have told you that this is a case study especially about Gonds and Ahoms. Then these written records or the chronicles are called the Buranjis. So remember the words. Burunjis. Written records. Students, these written records or the chronicles are called the Burunjis of the Ahoms. Their political and other events were noted down, written down in that book. The Burunjis are the first example of recorded history in India. So these are one of the examples of written records in India. The Ahoms also translated a large number of Sanskrit texts and possessed a rich collection of stories and folk tales. Students, they translated a large number of Sanskrit texts and possessed a rich collection of stories and folk tales. Students, at last we came to know that there were numerous types of tribes. They were present in the in the medieval times. Now also, students, in every part of our country we can find different types of tribes. Then the last subtopic or the last topic in your book that is given about the Mongols. The Mongols, better known as the hunter-gatherers, were the pastoral tribals of Central Asia, especially they belong to Mongolia, and they were a nomadic tribe of the neighborhood China. They were known to be a very fierce fighter. They were very brave, and there is a leader who's under the leadership of whose the empire grew very large. That is Genghis Khan. Their empire extended to Europe and Asia in the 13th and 14th century. So students, this was the topic all about, and we have studied the chapter social change in tribal and nomadic communities. I hope you would have understood the chapter. Students, the names may be very odd, but you must know the names of the tribal communities, tribes, so as to learn. Then only you can understand. And one more thing, students, I have always repeated that while you are watching the video, please refer to the textbook. Otherwise, you can't be able to learn. Okay, students, then by saying this, I may say goodbye to all of you. Thank you. Have a nice day.